Well, welcome to Razorcast, brought to you by Razor Metal Reviews. As always, I'm still Chris.
And I'm also Chris.
We didn't introduce ourselves last week, but
no.
If you're avid listeners, you should fucking know who we are by now. It's not exactly hard.
There's only one name to remember, isn't there?
Exactly, for two people. But as always, this week we are looking into our news on Fresh Cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week's what we've been listening to. Chris has been away on another assignment.
Yeah, indeed. And which I took very seriously and behaved incredibly professionally throughout.
That's bullshit.
Yes.
If you don't understand, he's been to Bloodstock this week.
I have, yeah.
And in this week's Horns Up, we're going to get our Wobba Wobba on.
Yeah. We're going to get some wop, 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 because everyone loves that.
Everyone loves that, with Korn's Path to Totality.
Indeed.
And, well, let's get back to the Fresh Cuts then.
Indeed.
Let's do it.
Start where we start.
Go on, I'll let you go, sir.
Item one.
Item number one.
I feel this is kind of celebratory, actually.
Go for it.
Fucking finally a win for, well, not just metal fans and rock fans, but fans of live music.
Oh, yes. I think I know what you're going to go with.
Ticketmaster.
Yes!
Have finally come out and said, yeah, we've been ripping you off.
Yeah, so, very much.
Yeah, we've been pulling your pants down for years.
And putting it in your bum.
Yeah, indeed. So they finally decided to shut down Get Me In and Seatwave.
Yes.
After pressure from some fairly big names in music, I suppose, like the...
Ed Sheeran.
That's him. I was going to say the Ginger Man.
Yeah, Ginger Man. He said that he was stopping people from going into his concerts who've bought tickets off of StubHub and stuff because he doesn't want them to be overcharged.
Yeah.
But they've paid that money to see you. Why won't you just let them in anyway?
Well, I think somebody did need to make a stand, to be honest, because I think it's only like when it comes to... Ticketmaster, hurting Ticketmaster in the pocket that they actually gave a shit.
Yeah.
And I think he's a big enough profile to do something about it, and they did change, which is, it's a bonus. So they are replacing it with on the site and on their Ticketmaster app.
Yeah.
There'll be a fan exchange program.
That's right. Yeah.
So they'll only be able to charge
face value tickets,
face value or less,
which is like Twickets. Twickets do the same thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's where I've been going to recently for any tickets because it's the most fairest way of doing it.
Yeah, you just get fed up. The big concerts, like I know the last 9 Inch Nails gig was like ridiculous for it. It was like they sold out in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
And then in 4 minutes there was tickets up for 5 times face value, which is just fucking
obscene. It is obscene.
So at least it will stop fucking dickheads like buying up as many tickets as they can just to make a profit out of it.
The whole black market, ticket touts and stuff.
Yeah, and it means that I'm not suggesting. It means that just more fans get to experience live music, not just fans that can afford to go, oh god, yeah, well, it's £300 for a ticket. I can afford it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because it just limits so many people's enjoyment of it.
Yeah.
It's good anyway. It's a good day.
Yeah, no, it's a good day for music fans.
Just to be a music fan, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm on board for that.
Yeah, well done, Ticketmaster. Finally.
Yeah.
And I know you've been listening fervently to everything I say.
Oh, brilliant. My next one is Killswitch Engage's frontman Jesse Lynch has come out and said that he's also had suicidal thoughts recently.
Yeah.
And basically what this is just him giving a heads up to mental health awareness.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And rightly so. I mean, he's come out and said that it does need to be normalised and treated just like an illness, the illness it is. And he just says that, if you do have these issues, always go to a friend, always talk about it.
Yeah.
Really sort of just putting it out there. And I think fair play to the guy. I mean...
Yeah, he's always been pretty open with his, he's addictions and his mental health issues.
That's right, yeah. So he said he had a picture on Instagram or something that he said he just looked wired after he'd taken his meds.
Yeah.
And he took it down. Now he's put another one up from just him being normal.
Yeah.
And... no, I think it's been a big thing recently, I think, especially for male mental health awareness. And, fair play to the people putting it forward, because it is a big thing.
Yeah, there was a little bit... it came up, a couple of people sort of mentioned it over the weekend at Bloodstock when they were on stage and stuff. it is something that needs addressing. It definitely does need talking about more, particularly us blokes.
Yeah.
There's this weird shame around going, I need help, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no shame to it.
No, absolutely not. Fair play to Jesse.
Yeah. Over to you, sir.
Item 2. So the As I Lay Dying European tour.
Oh, yes.
That we sort of talked about a little while ago, as you know, it was coming. They're selling really fast, the tickets.
Really?
Yeah. Particularly in Germany and Austria, they've had a few of their venues have to be upgraded.
Oh, really?
Because the venues weren't.
Demand?
Yeah, the venues weren't big enough. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised in some respects because they were a big band. They were influential.
They're huge, massively.
It just surprises me that a man who had who tried to take a hit out on his wife,
yes,
spent 5 years in jail for it.
Yeah,
has still got such an avid fan base. But perhaps Austria and Germany just think maybe they've just got more confidence than we have in the ability of the US Correctional Department to actually rehabilitate people.
Well, this is it. I mean, again,
I thought they just hit people with sticks and shot them.
Stone them, yeah. No, I mean, I'd be interested in going to that because it would be a fucking awesome gig to get to.
Yeah,
it'd be crazy as anything.
Yeah, I'm still not sure.
No. Well, my next one goes to Christian fundamentalists.
Oh, I thought that was a person for a second. I was going to say, fucking hell, that's an odd name.
No. A group of Christian fundamentalists had been online and took the artwork.
I think more than a group.
Yeah,
quite a few of them.
There's quite a few, and they've taken the artwork of a cattle decapitation album.
Yeah.
And
this is fucking awesome.
And, and they've been using it as a meme, basically against meat eaters.
Okay.
So they put a meme up the other day. I can't remember exactly what it said, but the problem is they've just been slammed by the lead singer, by Travis.
Yeah.
Who has come back to them and said, with a picture of the Bible circling, "Thou shalt not steal." Saying that they shouldn't obviously steal the album cover and stuff and use it for their own personal use and stuff without having any sort of accreditation or anything to the band. And he's just absolutely on it.
I thought that the irony is I thought, and I may well be wrong, they may have just called themselves cattle decapitation because it sounds gnarly, but I was under the impression that the band themselves called themselves Cattle Decapitation as a kind of comment on like modern society and how we produce meat and the cruelty of animals and what a barbaric bunch of wankers we all are.
No, it just turns out it's just a fucking cool name.
Okay. Fair. I mean, it's very death metal, isn't it?
Well, exactly, that's the whole point of it. But no, he's just taken this Christian group and just slammed them to the ground, essentially.
Yeah. They won't stop using it.
Oh, of course not, no. They're always going to forever, but hey-ho, for us meat eaters, you know.
Yeah,
we still go
I'm surprised they didn't pick up on, you know, to have a go at Cattle Decapitation for calling themselves that and using an album cover that is probably gruesome.
Yeah, I think it's the one with the monkey on the front eating meat from the bone.
Ah, right, okay. Is one thing. I'd have thought they'd be more pressed with the new Behemoth single.
Oh, yeah.
And video that accompanies it, where he portrays himself as Jesus and various other things. Other sort of religious iconography.
Yeah.
But I suppose maybe they just thought,
that's meat eaters are fucking the devil.
We are. We're not fucking the devil.
No, I know.
Just eating from his plate.
Exactly. Over to you, sir.
Third item. Another bit of good news.
Go for it.
Joey Jordison.
Oh, this is my last one.
Nice. Yeah, so he says that he's feeling 100% back to full fitness because he was diagnosed about 4 or 5 years ago with something called transverse myelitis, which is a form of MS.
That's right. Yeah.
And just said that he sort of woke up one morning, pain in his back, and
he said it felt like his back was on fire.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden his legs stopped working.
Yeah,
and he was like,
collapsed,
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's right. And apparently it's like a form of multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
And fair play to him. I mean, I know this is something that he's been vocal about with Slipknot and saying this is the reason why he was kicked out of the band, essentially.
Yeah.
If that's true, then shame on Slipknot.
Well, it makes sense. For one thing, they've been mates for a very long time. I can't imagine Joey being the sort of person who gives up. So, he
said he hasn't. He said he's been battling this, and now he feels back. He's 100%.
Yeah. But as a band, Slipknot needed to continue. They couldn't wait. They couldn't just go, "Oh, let's just wait 4 years." Particularly after what happened.
Well, I mean, even after the death of Paul Gray, they still carried on.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's probably more important for them to carry on after the death of Paul Gray because they had something to get off their chest. They had something.
Oh yeah, understandable.
And
I think
I imagine they were probably doing it to try and force Joey to take some time to go and get better.
Well,
I would imagine.
But I think with the promise that, say, if he could join the band again, then fair enough.
I don't think that would ever be off the table, would it?
No, I can't see it being so. But I think he has. I don't know if it's just him has this vendetta against the band now about it all, or whether or not the band have actually just
I just don't
segregated him.
I don't know if either's true. I would imagine that it's just he's now doing various other little projects.
Well, yeah, I mean he's doing really well with Synesum or whatever it's called.
Cinesium or something, and he's got Vimich as well on the go.
And Vimich on the go, yeah, that's right. And they're taking off massively at the moment.
Yeah, and whether he'd feel, yes, he might feel 100% now, but then his touring commitments and everything else are probably very low for his other bands, whereas a Slipknot tour and a Slipknot thing, that is a 3, 4, 5 year commitment just to tour the album.
Just to tour one album, yeah.
Yeah, and for him to get on the drums every single night,
yeah,
it's probably too much at the minute.
Oh
no, he says he's back to 100%.
But we'll see after what he does with the latest albums.
Yeah, but it's good to see that he's feeling better anyway, and that he's sort of back to full health.
So yeah, I think that's all we've got from the news. It's not been much in the events of the news this week.
No, not particularly.
No, but so let's go over to what we've been listening to.
Yeah,
the stage is yours, sir. Bloodstock.
Bloodstock, fucking Bloodstock, 2018.
I see that you were already enjoying yourself before the weekend began.
Slightly. Yeah. Yeah. It was. This might be the haziest review anyone has ever given anything ever.
Was it that much carnage, was it?
It was quite carnage, yeah. Yeah. It was really good fun. Like, obviously this is my second year at Bloodstock. That I've been. First year, fucking loved it. This year was just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
Could walk around slightly more smug this year because I stayed in the Serpent's Lair VIP, so sort of walking around with a massive superiority complex all weekend, which was nice. But
you become Jared Leto, have you?
Oh yeah, I was saving people left, right, and centre. It's just got such a lovely feel. Like the actual festival itself's got such a nice feel, and it's so well organised, and the bands that are there. They just really fucking want to be there. You can see it when they're on stage. There's like, I'll get onto it, but Des from Devil Driver was like, "This is fucking home. Like this is home to me."
Yeah.
Like, and he meant it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like yeah. Because you could see how much fucking fun. The man is not known for being the smiliest person in the world, and he had a shit-eating grin on his face the whole time he was on stage.
Oh, brilliant!
But.
Well, that's what you want when you see people. You want them to enjoy themselves. You want to know that they're giving as much back as you are. Yeah.
So I'll just go through what I saw because I didn't get to see everything.
No, that's fair.
Nobody ever does.
No.
So on the Friday we caught Onslaught.
Okay.
Sort of thrash, 80s kind of inspired thrash band. They were good. They were kind of on in the background while we were getting beers down our heads, getting ready for the later carnage. But those bands that are just on in the background that you've never heard before can quite often just fade into the background.
Yeah.
But I actually sort of spent a bit of time going, hang on, hello.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get into listening to them a little bit.
Yeah.
because I did have a heavy night on the Thursday. When Camelot were on,
Right.
I had a little nap on some pizza boxes in the middle of the field in front of the main stage, so I can't comment on how good they were.
No, I've been a fan of Camelot in their early stuff, but recently I've not been so much into them.
Yeah,
and
they might have been good.
They might have been. I don't know, but like I said, for me, their latest albums have just been a sack of shit, really.
Oh, crikey. Well, I'm kind of glad I had that nap because I needed it. Because Emperor were on after that.
Oh, heavy.
Yeah, really fucking good, really heavy. And you could tell that there was so much fucking goodwill for Emperor. Like, they're so massive. And
they're huge over here.
They are one of those kind of archetypal Bloodstock bands.
They are.
Bloodstock is there for bands like Emperor to fucking lay waste to the fucking field.
And for a black metal band to be as big as they are, you know, it's brilliant to see over here, because I think black metal over here is a very sort of like minority, you know.
It's definitely on the up, but but
I know they're always on the, you know, always headlining, always over here.
So I didn't get to see the whole of Emperor's set.
No.
Because I wanted to go and get a good spot for Bleed From Within on the Sophie Lancaster stage.
Yeah.
And holy fucking dog's dicks.
Was it?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Oh.
They were so good. The new material sounded really fucking good. The crowd were into it from the first note right the way through.
Oh, brilliant.
They were the only band of the weekend that I pitted for.
Really?
Yeah, and I felt very old and battered after it.
Wow, that surprises me, seeing as Gojira were there.
I know, I was really sensible for Gojira.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to actually see them for once rather than have my head jammed into mud for 45 minutes. But Bleed From Within were fucking really great. They sounded great. The crowd were quality. And then we went over to finish the evening seeing Judas fucking Priest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were so good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them on this latest tour.
They were brilliant.
I missed them at Grass Pop this year.
Oh, mate, you missed out.
Yeah.
You really did. Like, I know, like, we said about... They're one of those bands, like, they're seminal. They're kind of, like, one of the sort of elder statesmen of metal.
Well, exactly it. No, that's exactly it.
But the difference being from them and some of their contemporaries is that, like, when I said to you about seeing Ozzy at Download...
Yeah, it's like watching a man dying in front of you.
Yeah, he kind of looks doddery and old and kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Whereas Rob Halford didn't. Rob Halford looked fairly youthful and like he was up for it, and you know, he wasn't sprinting back and forth, but his voice sounds fucking great, and there's plenty of energy there, and there's plenty of showmanship.
Yeah. Would you put them on, say, the same level as what Iron Maiden are still today? Because they are all so youthful looking on stage.
I massively preferred seeing Judas Priest than I did Maiden.
Really?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. I thought they were really fucking good. The bit when he comes out on his Harley, like, it's a big old bike, and that was fucking loud. But yeah, they were great. They sort of topped off the Friday, the first headliners.
Oh, brilliant!
And they were something really special. Like, walking back to the campsite, people would just go, fucking Judas Priest, man, fucking hell, There's just lots of expletives and the word Judas Priest now and again. Saturday I had to get up reasonably early, because I had to go and see fucking Power Trip.
Oh yes, so early in the day as well.
Yeah, they battered people as they did when they supported Trivium. It was fucking chaos.
Oh, amazing.
Absolute chaos. Like, you don't expect it at a festival from such an early
not from an early band.
The crowd was massive.
Oh, was it a good crowd?
It was massive, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
They were the biggest... They probably got the biggest crowd on that Saturday on the main stage.
Yeah. Until
some of the real later bands like the Ailstorms and stuff like that. Like,
so people were well into
Power Trip. And
brilliant.
They had pits going from fucking the first note. They played Executioner's Tax like third song.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, the fucking Stones on these guys to just throw that out there.
Throw their biggest song, third in.
Oh, it was great, man.
Brilliant.
They were so fucking good. So we hung around after that because we didn't really know what to do, and my head was kind of spinning slightly, and we were quite near where we were stood on the stage. We were very near the Captain Morgan's rum tent.
Oh, okay.
Or say tent, it was an actual pirate boat.
Oh, wow.
So we were quite near that, so we stayed near that for a while. For no good reason. But
channeling your inner Ailstorm, yeah?
Yeah, oh, fuck that. So we caught a band that I never thought I'd go and watch. Orden Ogan, they were called. They are a German power metal band.
Okay.
And they were way better than I thought they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were actually really good fun, really solid, fucking chunky riffing.
Oh, okay.
They actually had some groove as well as just being like,
yeah,
dragons and things of stuff.
See, I do like a good power metal band.
Yes,
I do like a good
and
power
I
metal
don't.
band.
So I thought you'd be surprised to know that I stuck
quite
around
enjoy
for a whole set.
Yeah, right.
They were good. They were good. They got a good crowd, to be fair. After that, I went to see Conjurer.
Oh yeah.
In the Sophie stage again. Really good sized crowd. Probably on par with Bleed From Within's crowd.
Okay.
Sounded fucking massive.
Yeah.
Just really heavy.
This is the good thing with I think with Bloodstock. Although it is a festival, it's not as huge as most festivals. Mm-hmm. But they seem to nail the sounding on that festival.
Yeah, there was very few bands where the sound got lost, to be honest. There was a couple of times when the wind really picked up and it got pretty shitty.
Yeah.
There was a couple of times it was a bit lost, but very fucking rarely. And in the tent, it's spot on, yeah. So Conjurer were fucking really, really good, as I hoped they were going to be. Then I missed loads and loads of bands because we were all done in. So we all went back to the Octo Johnson, and snuck Graham in as well.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Bloodstock. So he was in sort of like, he was going, this is what VIP looks like. We were like, oh yeah. So we just chilled in the tent for a few hours and I missed Ailstorm. Oh, boo, fucking boo.
See, I would have loved to have gone and seen that.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because I would have thrown something heavy and anvil-like at them. Fucking absolute chumps. They from the photos and stuff though, they got an amazing crowd. Everyone dressed up because
of course.
Fucking so many people need setting fire to.
Thanks, dude.
Fucking Ailstorm. Somebody even said, I saw on Twitter like a couple of days later. Oh, it was somebody from Metal Hammer, Luke, I think, from Metal Hammer said, I'm calling it now. Ailstorm will headline Bloodstock at one point. And I was like, what the fuck? And then Steve Hill commented,
if they do, I will be going that year.
If they do, I will be burrowing 78 feet into the ground at Bloodstock during their set. Steve Hill said, I'm calling it now. That's a fucking abomination. I was like, yes, good.
Brilliant.
We got back in time for Gojira.
Yes.
They were fucking amazing. It was the best.
I've read reviews online as soon as they finished saying they won the weekend.
It was the best time I've ever seen them. I've seen them two or three, maybe 3 or 4 times now. It was easily the best I've ever seen them. Yeah. They just looked fucking masterful. They played all of the fucking hits. And it's weird that Gojira are a band where they can play a song like Flying Whales and it's a hit. It's like a 7.5 minute prog metal kind of prog death fucking anthem. You know? Yeah. It's weird that they've got songs like that people go, holy fuck, this is my jam. Like, yeah. How can... It doesn't make any sense. They don't make any sense, and that's what I love them. Yeah. They were bang of the weekend for me, 100%.
Yeah. A lot of reviews I've read said they were, easily hands down the best of the weekend.
Yeah, they were fucking phenomenal. Really, really phenomenal. So Sunday, I went out straight after Gojira to the VIP bar, and I stayed there very late.
Got very drunk.
I did. I really did. Hello to everyone I bumped into at the VIP bar over the weekend. Sorry.
Putting a good word out for us, yeah?
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah, so Sunday, again...
Just out of curiosity, being in that VIP lounge with doing this podcast, did you ever use that to your advantage?
What?
Saying, I run a podcast and stuff.
Yeah, I told people about the pod, so if you are listening, buongiorno. Sorry I spilt cider all over you, probably. Or dribbled on your shoulder,
One of the
two. It was lovely to meet you. So on the Sunday, I went and saw... First band we went to see was Alien Weaponry.
Oh, yes.
Mate, they got the fucking best crowd reaction in that tent I saw all weekend.
Yeah.
The tent itself was packed front to back. It was the biggest crowd I saw in there.
I tell you what, and I think worthy so, because that band have introduced something new.
Well, no.
No?
No, I think they've reintroduced what Sepultura used to do.
Okay, yeah.
But they do it with a bit more melody and a bit more kind of modern metal twist on it.
Yeah.
But freaking Jeebus on cheese.
Yeah.
They were so good. They sounded great. They got an amazing reaction. The place was absolutely bouncing, to the point where the crowd in between every song was singing their name and basically bullied Bloodstock into letting them do an encore.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That good?
They were shouting. They would not shut up. They were trying to get Alien Weaponry off stage and they were just going, and the crowd would not give it a rest. They would not shut up. And then they were like, they're letting us play one more song. So they fucking played one more song. And then the crowd did it again. And they were like, and Bloodstock were like, no, like, you're going to overrun. Or you already have overrun.
Yeah.
Like, we need other bands on.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was mental.
So with how the album sounded.
Yeah.
We always said that the first few songs were very good and then it just sort of juried out.
Yeah.
Did it sound better live?
Yes. I still, like, me and Graham was sat there chatting, and Chris as well was sat there chatting, and we all agreed that the stuff when they're singing in Maori sounds better.
Yeah.
Because it's just got that more aggressive edge to it.
Yeah.
Than the stuff where they go in English, because it sounds a bit more bullet-like.
Okay, right, yeah.
But still sounded great. It was mental. Just to... They were like... They literally had to just leave the stage, like, or walk off and just... Because they cut the mics, they wouldn't let them... Because they literally, like, overran so much, they were just like, we have to get you off because we have to do the changeover.
Yeah.
And people were still chanting their name. It was fucking mental. So I went over. Chris had already gone over to see start of Fozzy.
Oh yeah.
So I went over for the last 20 minutes of Fozzy. Reasonably big crowd.
Yeah. Well, I suppose with the wrestling background.
It was quite a big crowd. I don't think it was Alien Weaponry size.
No, obviously not.
But it was big. And he loved it. Like, Jericho's a fucking proper...
He's a showman.
Yeah.
He is a proper showman. As always in the wrestling, he was always known as the Ayatollah of rock and roller.
Yeah. I mean, I'd never seen him before, never really listened to Fozzy.
I've seen them 3 or 4 times now.
They played Sandpaper as their last song.
Oh, really?
It was the one song that I knew. And that's only because I'm pretty sure on record that's got M Shadows on it.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. And I think one of their biggest other songs at the moment is a song called Judas.
Yeah,
which is fucking
I think
awesome
I missed
live.
that.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they were good. They were very good. Like, they all of them are showmen, to be honest. That whole band love it.
Well, yeah, because they used to be in Mojo Stick, is it? Is it Mojo Stick or something like that?
Stuck Mojo?
Stuck Mojo, that's right.
Did they?
Yeah, Rich used to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't know what that was.
No, right.
That was my thinking noise. Okay, and to be fair, and after them was one of the sets of the weekend.
Go on.
Jasta.
Oh, Jasta. Yes. That man.
Mate, not just that man. Not just that man.
Okay.
That man started playing, and he played his first song, and then he was like, I'd like to introduce a friend of mine.
Oh.
Here is Dino Cazares from Fear Factory.
No.
So he got Dino out, they played a Fear Factory song way better.
Than
They
Fear
played
Factory.
Replica way better than Fear Factory. way better. We were like, why couldn't Fear Factory have been this good the other year? Like, it was fucking great.
Oh, no way.
Then he went, I'd like to introduce another one of my friends. Here's Kirk from Crowbar.
No.
So he came out,
dude.
and they played like a couple of Kingdom of Sorrow tunes that they'd done together. And then he said, I'd like to introduce another one of my friends. Howard fucking Jones from Killswitch.
No.
And yes.
No.
Yeah, it came out and did like 2 or 3 songs with them. And then they did like a massive Mama Jam where they were all on stage together for the last song. It was fucking great.
Dude.
Yeah, it was so good.
Let me guess. Will Killswitch on afterwards?
Killswitch were on the night before.
Didn't they bring him out?
Somewhere else, yeah. And Howard Jones had been on stage with them. I think it was in Paris. He'd been on stage with them, and they flew him in.
Oh, that's right. No, he was in London. They were supporting Maiden.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. And he came into London and did a song with them in London.
Yeah, so, yeah, and
I think it was End of Heartache.
Jasta managed to... Yeah, it was. And Jasta managed to convince him to come up to Bloodstock for the afternoon, yeah. It was fucking brilliant. And, like, Jasta's just, like... He just seems like one of those blokes that, yes, he's in a massive, like, 2 massive bands.
Yeah.
And although he's in, like, God knows how many bands, but although he's, like, in a massive band, and he's toured the world and everything else.
Producer, podcast host.
Yeah.
The man's unstoppable.
All he just wants to do is play, listen, and make music. Like, he's just a music fan first.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, that's when some of the best things come out with people who are just into it.
Yeah. Thing is, it's brilliant because you see him on stage and it's like seeing one of us. Like, it's just like seeing one of your mates who you know is just bang into music and they're on stage.
Yeah.
Because he's got that look all the time of a man who's just going, can't fucking believe I'm doing this.
Oh, man.
Like, every time people would pit in, he was like, fucking yeah. Like, just smiling his ass off. It was brilliant.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so good.
So envious.
So after that, Mr. Big.
Oh, Mr.
On.
Big, yeah.
Yeah, who I didn't know that I knew, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those bands you go, oh, they did their song.
Yeah. It was a bit of an odd booking, if I'm honest, like to go from...
Yeah, you would do. For a Bloodstock weekend, Mr. Big is very...
In between Jasta and Devil Driver, it was a bit weird.
Just to calm the crowd down, just to be explode again.
Yeah, it was odd. They were very good, like, and I was like, through the whole set, I was like, fucking hell, these two are really good musicians. Like the bass and the guitar player, I was like, they are fucking great musicians. And then sort of realised, or Chris told me, that the guitarist is he's like a Steve Vai trained guitarist. He's been in some other ridiculous band. He's like a proper guitar muso.
That's right.
And the bass player is Billy Sheehan. Like, he was like Michael Jackson's bass player and all sorts. And I was like, oh, no wonder that man can shred like shit on a bass. They were doing dueling guitar solos on the bass and the guitar. It was fucking well cool.
Amazing.
And he was making the bass squeal. Like,
really?
It was really cool. But they had a good, small but dedicated following at the front.
Yeah.
The rest of the crowd were kind of like, oh, no, I do remember this. Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
They were good. And then Devil Driver came on, and they were just the biggest pits of the fucking weekend.
Yeah,
and constantly.
Devil Driver have got that reputation just to have the biggest pits.
It was just, the crowd were carnage from the second they started playing. Des looked so pleased. He must have thanked Bloodstock for letting them be there 15 times in their set. The weird thing is, they played 0 from Pray for Villains.
Really?
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on.
Oh, okay.
And I've checked their recent set lists, and they don't play anything from Pray for Villains.
How bizarre.
Yeah, it's their best album. Easily their best album. There was no Pray for Villains, no Forgiveness is a fucking six gun, no... I was saying to Chris, I was like, because they played Clouds Over California, quite late on, but not at the end. And I was like, well, what are they going to end with? And me and him were like, it has to be Pray for Villains. There isn't another song they can end with. And they ended with something called Mountains, which I was like, huh?
Okay.
The fuck?
Do they do any of their outlaw stuff?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. They didn't do that either.
There was just lots of stuff from Winter Kills and Beast and The Last Kind
I think Beast
Word.
was possibly one of their biggest albums,
Yeah, but
selling-wise.
It's nowhere near as good as Pray for Villains.
No.
It isn't. It's like a B-side of Pray for Villains album. I don't know, because they lost the guitarist and the drummer after Pray for Villains. I don't know whether or not there's some legal wranglings, because I know that the drummer wrote a hell of a lot of the music for Pray for Villains.
There could be some illegal issue in that one.
I'd be gutted if it was, but it was just weird to have a set list of none of your best songs.
Yeah.
Well, other than Clouds Over California, which was cool. Right, okay, so 2 more bands rounded off my weekend. So I saw At the Gates.
Oh yeah.
Really good,
Another
really
band
heavy.
The Grass Pop.
Really good crowd reaction, but the vocals were bugging the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Fine when the band's all going full tilt and he's doing the screaming. When the vocals were higher in the mix and the sort of guitars came down and stuff, there was so much reverb on his voice.
Oh fuck!
Like
just drowned him out.
Tons of it. Yeah. Well, it was just like I just thought, are you actually singing any of this? Like it sounded. It sounded like there was so much reverb, so much fucking loop on it, and so much stuff on it. It sounded like he must have just been whispering everything. And I was like, whilst I get that you've been touring for years and years and years, you need to save your voice, etc. I was like, I don't know.
It just felt a little underwhelming.
Yeah, it was a little bit, and it was just a little bit irritating. I'm probably going to get loads of hate mail now. People say I'm a fucked hard and I don't know anything that I'm talking about. But it's opinion.
It's opinion.
They're like bumholes, aren't they?
They are. Everyone's got one.
I was going to say something about mine at Bloodstock then, but I don't know what it is about a festival. You go there and you go, I can't poo properly for 3 or 4 days because I haven't got a nice room to do it in.
Don't have that problem in Europe. Cleaned every day.
Oh, the VIP ones were, but
that's right.
My body didn't know that. It's too much information. I apologise. Fuck's sake. So the last band of the weekend that finished it off that I wasn't fussed about seeing in the slightest was Nightwish.
Yeah, you sent me a couple of videos on this.
They were fucking brilliant.
They looked awesome.
They were.
And Floor Jansen, I mean, fair play to her. This is their 4th singer now, I believe.
Yeah.
That Floor is just absolutely killing it from what I've seen.
Mate, she's a fucking superstar, honestly. Like, her voice is incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible live. And she just looks like a fucking superstar on stage. Yeah. They fucking floored me, if I'm honest. Don't get me wrong. Am I going to go off and buy all of their albums? Probably not, no. But if they were on a lineup at a festival, would I go and see them again? Fuck yes, I would.
Yeah. They're another band that are like just showmans.
Yeah, they were way heavier than I thought as well.
Yeah, a lot.
Like the actual guitars and stuff were way heavier.
I mean, even when they do like their most famous song, which was originally done with Tarja, Nemo.
Right.
Floor is just killing it.
Yeah.
She is trying to do her best to keep up with it because Tarja was a classically trained singer. You know, so very operatic. But for Floor to be able to come in and do that, fair play to her.
Mate, well, I wouldn't have known that she wasn't. Until you said that they've had 4 singers, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
That every one of those songs sounded like hers.
Yeah, well, that's what you want.
100%.
Exactly what you want.
There wasn't a single time when I was like, oh, she's stretching herself. It was fucking effortless. Every single thing she did was just like... I was just like, if she really wanted to, she could just turn around and, like, without a microphone, blow the stage away.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Awesome.
And I even liked the bit where the man got the weird... He had some weird oboe flute thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was.
No, I know.
Me and Chris were like, is it an oboe? Is it a plane? No, I don't know what it is. At one point I was convinced it was a recorder. I was like, he's playing the fucking recorder.
Well, being a Finnish band, I'd imagine it's some native sort of
Finnish
instrument
whistle.
of some.
It's a fin whistle.
That was it?
I don't know. Or a Thistle.
A Thistle, we'll go with that.
We'll go with a Thistle. He played the shit out of that Thistle anyway. And he had a bagpipe thing.
Okay.
A weird bagpipe that you don't blow. I don't know.
Bizarre.
It's probably not a bagpipe then, is it?
No.
He had a bag o' air.
A bag of air.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So,
But
out of the 2 festivals you've been to this year, Bloodstock or Download?
oh, don't make me do that. It's an impossible choice because at Download I saw Guns N' Roses.
No, that's true, yeah.
Cried a lot. And at Bloodstock I dribbled a lot. And I got to see Gojira. So that's basically 2 of my favourite things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. I thought I'd put it out there.
Could I go to Bloodload? Bloodload or
Downstock.
Yeah, I could mix the 2. It'd be ideal.
Amazing. Well, I've only been to one gig recently, and that was just a local little gig.
Yeah.
Went to see some friends of mine in a band called Canavar.
Yes.
And fuck.
Yeah.
So good. I've been meaning to catch him. I mean,
yeah.
I've done that thing where, so the lead singer, Deck, he's currently dating a friend of mine, Abby.
Yeah.
And since knowing him and getting to know what the band's like, I've been like, fuck, they sound really good.
Yeah,
but I've been putting off going to see them because I've had other things on. And I finally got round to it.
Yeah.
And fuck, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, well, like I said to you, I caught, like, without knowing, like, that you knew him and stuff, I caught the last song or last 2 songs when they did that, that sort of very quick, they filled in for somebody who pulled out of the fan club gig.
Fan club, that's it.
At the Heartbreakers, and I walked in, I was like, oh, fucking wow!
Yeah.
And then, like, 5 minutes later, they finished, and I was like, bollocks, I should have played 20 minutes earlier.
Yeah, but no, they were so good. I mean, and you can tell all the influences in that band.
Yeah.
Because you had the skate punk elements.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Dex is very much into Rise Against.
Yeah.
Very much so.
But you played me, is it their latest single?
Yes, Sacrilege.
Sacrilege. You played me that before we started recording.
Yeah.
And
it's tasty, isn't it?
It's fucking great, yeah. I said to you, they've got that thing that not Conjurer, for fuck's sake, Bokassa do.
That's it.
So it's like
the change up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is what this is. Nope.
That's
a
gone
left
that
turn,
way.
and it's gone.
So if you guys get a chance, look up Sacrilege by Canavar. So for the first sort of minute and a half, it is very much like a skate punk sort of element.
Yeah, there's that
hardcore.
There's that definite speed and like you can hear the Rise Against influence and almost like the sort of earliest sort of thrash punk type stuff like Suicidal Tendencies. That's kind
exactly
of stuff,
it. And then it just takes that left turn right at the end.
Yeah.
And it is just full thrash.
Yeah, it goes full fucking Slayer, Testament, like.
Yeah. And I think for a band to be able to do something as ballsy as that and just
I
take
really
the
like
two
it.
and like brilliant. But they were really fucking good. They've got their new album. They've got their first album coming out on iTunes.
Yeah.
You can pre-order it now, and if you do so, you get another song called, I think it's called Daybreak. Fucking great song as well.
Cool. Do you know when it's out?
I want to say the 8th of September.
Cool.
I've already pre-ordered it.
Yeah.
And they're playing a couple of other gigs locally.
Yeah. I don't have iTunes because I'm an Android wanker, but...
fair enough. But no, I think you will be able to buy the CD as well.
Yeah, cool.
So, yeah, very much in the promised land for them.
Yeah.
And then
Promised land, fucking Martin Luther King.
The only other...
That's what you're called now, the Martin Luther King of metal.
Really?
I have a
Metal
dream
Metal
that one
Luther
day...
King.
Metal Luther King. I have a dream that one day skate punks and thrashers...
Thrash gonna get together. Oh, brilliant. And... no, and then the only other thing I've been listening to recently is the new Crossfaith album, Ex Machinery. Fuck. Like, the first few... again, it's another album where the first few songs really kick you in the teeth.
Yeah.
And then it changes up and goes slightly a different direction.
Yeah.
So the first sort of few songs, they are very sort of hardcore-esque with that rave element they put into it.
Yeah. That really thrashy, fast kind of...
But they've got some really chunky sort of metalcore stomps in that.
Yeah.
And it's just ravenish.
That's when I really, really love them, is when they go that full like
Chunky.
really fast metalcore kind of with all those like Prodigy-esque.
Yeah, tune it down a little bit.
Yeah,
just really fucking give
What I don't like is when they go, oh, we're going to add like a big dollop of new metal into it, and because it takes.
Yeah, there is elements of that, but they've done 2 songs in this with 2 other people. Well, one band and one person.
Yeah.
So one of their songs, "Destroy," was done by Horror 909.
Yeah.
They still have that.
099909.
That one, yes.
Yeah.
And they still got the element of that sort of psychopathic sort of sound that Horror do.
Yeah.
But they still make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not taken over by the band as much, but it still has that sort of ravey element, the chunkiness of it. And then they do another song, which is their single, "Freedom," with Ro Reynolds from Enter Shikari. And again,
that's a good fit.
It is very good, and you can definitely hear the Enter Shikari elements in it when Ro's in it, because it is very much tuned to him. Mm-hmm. But around it, it's just melded into something extraordinary. It is very much that Crossfaith have their input of their ravey sort of symphonic sort of sounds. Yeah. Then you've got the Enter Shikari sort of symphonic sounds. Meld those 2 together and it works beautifully. Yeah. But then
it's quite. I suppose it'd be quite nice. It'd be quite nice to hear Rue on something that's like a bit faster and a bit more, because I really liked the Spark, the last
I like the
Shikari album, but it's a million miles away from the Minesweep or
definitely.
And
it's just very much a chilled album, wasn't it, for them?
Yeah, very much.
And I think it's something that they could get out of their system now. Although I still loved it.
Yeah, I really like it, to be honest. And I think it will help them play bigger venues, even though they're playing the Joiners.
Yeah, they play the Joiners. I've heard a couple of reviews about that. Very good. Very, very fucking good.
I can imagine.
But yeah, the latter half of the album, it becomes very much... the only way I can describe it is like a whole load of Linkin Park off Reanimation, but fucking 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, no.
Yeah. To the extent that the last song on that album is a cover of Faint. From Linkin Park, yeah. It is just a cover of that. Yeah. Nothing over the top, nothing new to it. Just that.
I always found with Crossfaith albums that they're too long.
And I agree.
I think that what they do is brilliant in little short blasts. Yeah. Like Xeno, the EP, the first EP with Photosphere and Jagerbomb and Monolith and stuff. It's 4 tracks. 4 or 5 tracks maximum.
Yeah, they do their EPs.
It's out. Yeah. It's in, out, and you leave going,
and I think
holy shitballs.
I think a band that do EPs rather than albums can generally be better. Like Milk Tea, for example. They did 1 album, and now they're just doing EPs at the moment. Just 4 or 5 songs. You're in, you're done, you're gone. Yeah. And it works.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I know that they're probably under pressure to do albums from their record label and stuff. I don't know. They've never nailed it on an album for me, Crossfaith. They nailed it on that EP. I was like, oh my god, this is EP, be fucking the best EP. Band on the planet. Yeah. And then you see them live and you go, holy shit, this is fucking great. And then on the album, I always go, I've kind of had enough now. I'll get about 8 songs in.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I was done after the sort of the. After Freedom, I think there's 1 or 2 songs afterwards where it takes the sort of slow down, and then they have another 3 songs after that. And for me, I was getting a bit sort of bored of it. I ended up falling asleep.
Oh dear.
I was in bed at the time, so.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, probably not the best idea to listen to something like that when you're trying to go to sleep.
No, but then I sort of, I heard Faint and went, oh, it's just Linkin Park. Yeah. Just done with different people.
I get why they've covered it.
Yeah, because it's heavily influenced. Yeah. You can tell.
Yeah, of course.
But that's the only other thing I've been listening to this week. I've been sort of here, there and everywhere. So yeah.
Swish.
Right then, let's get down to Horns Up.
Yeah, indeedy.
And we're going to get our Wobber Wobber on. And we're going to talk about Korn.
Yeah, part of Totality.
Now for me, when this album came out, I thought, great market strategy. Dubstep's at a high.
Yeah.
Tap into that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you amazed me earlier when I didn't really realise. Obviously, this came out in 2011.
Yeah.
Like you said, dubstep it was at the height of its powers. 2011.
Oh, big time.
Was like Skrillex was the biggest artist on the planet, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he was humongous.
Yeah. And I think for someone who was metal influenced beforehand and then came into the dubstep genre was something completely, left of centre. And how he managed to make that work, I do not know, because let's face it, dance music's been around for years. To hear something new from it and to sound as big as it is, was undeniable.
Well, Prodigy were always the leading light in taking dance music and going, oh yeah, this is what dance music was, and now we fucked about with it, and here it is. Like Liam Howlett is an actual genius.
Yeah,
that man
exactly
is an actual musical genius.
And to hear something new from that was refreshing.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think. Obviously, dubstep has had its time. It's came and went.
Well, this is the thing. I don't hear it about these days.
No, it's died a death. But it did it. Okay, so this was Korn's 10th album.
Yeah.
So, do you think when you first, regardless of how we're looking at it now, when you first heard this back in 2011, did you think, wow, 10th album, that's fucking ballsy? Or did you think, that's really cynical?
I think the best way of looking at it is when I heard they were going to be doing the dubstep, I thought it's just marketing.
Yeah.
I thought.
So you thought it was a cynically driven thing?
Yeah, cynically driven.
They've run out of ideas.
Well, this is it, yeah. So they thought, I know that Jonathan Davies is massively into dubstep.
Yeah.
Even to the extent that he's done his own dubstep project as J Devil.
Yeah, well, he's done J Devil for years, hasn't he? And as an electronic.
Yeah.
He's a DJ, and he basically.
Well, that's essentially it. But then to be tapping into the dubstep thing, because that's what he's.
That's what he was listening to at the time. That's what he was big into at the time.
And you can tell it's all over this album.
Because I agree. When I first heard they were doing this, I was like, this is cynical as fuck.
Yeah.
Because coming off the back of Korn 3...
That's right, yeah.
I was like, Korn 3 has got... Okay, I'm a bit of an apologist for Korn 3.
Yeah.
Because most people go, oh dear God, what an absolute pile of willy.
Yeah.
There are some tracks on it that I absolutely adore.
Is it Oil Plane?
Oildale.
Oildale, yeah. Yeah.
But I do get that it sounds very much like an album very much like an album written by guys that have gone, I kind of want to do something, but...
Yeah. And I think to tap into something that they were influenced at the time by, and I know it was massive as well, that dubstep was everywhere.
Yeah.
Skrillex had blown up to, the high heavens.
Yeah.
I think fair play to them.
Yeah, I do now. Before it came out, I was like, this is so market driven and money driven.
That's right.
And I was gutted because I thought, Korn surely... I know they had their dalliances with more poppier elements, and I know people had given them a bit of a kicking in the past for things like Seagull on the Other Side, where it was like, they've gone way too close to the kind of poppier side of new metal, and they're listening to too much new stuff, and it's influenced them in a shit way.
With this album, would you say, I know you hate this sort of stuff, but would you ever say it was a gimmick album in the sense of dubstep being the gimmick? I
thought it was. Before I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is totally a gimmick album. This is going to be... I genuinely thought, to be honest, I thought that Monkey and...
Head?
Well, Head wasn't back in the band.
Oh, no, he wasn't. No, it's true.
So I was just like, this sounds like... what was his chops? Bass player McGill. I don't know why I've forgotten his fucking name now. I just thought...
What, in Korn?
Yeah.
Fieldy?
Yeah, Fieldy. Only the most sort of famous bass player. Fieldy and Monkey, I sort of thought, have they just got fed up of battling Jonathan and gone, yeah, mate, do what you want?
Yeah.
I sort of thought, maybe that's the case. Maybe they've just gone... okay, whatever, and this was just a Jonathan project with Korn's name on it.
Yeah.
Do you know? What did you think when you first heard it, though?
I really liked it. Do you know? I wasn't sort of when Skrillex first came around. I was like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, bangarang.
Yeah,
Fucking tune.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But with the added element of Korn, it still feels like a Korn album.
100%. That's what I was most impressed with. I think I heard this album expecting it to just be wob 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 wob
exactly
everywhere,
and just nothing off Korn.
And then Jonathan being slightly
added his deranged
kind of doing his kind of I'm a strange leprechaun thing that he does.
Leprechaun.
Well, he does that kind of like I'm slightly kooky and and I thought, it's going to be that. And then I heard it and I was like, no, this is a fucking Korn album. Exactly. This sounds, if you took all of the electronica stuff away from it, you'd still have the bare bones of a Korn album.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's still riffs-ish. It's just,
to a degree,
it's just a lot of those riffs have been replaced by electronic music rather than just flat out riffs.
Yeah. The thing is, with that, do you feel that it still feels fresh? As like, if you were to put it in today's categories, would you think it held up?
It's a difficult one because whilst I think that in Korn's back catalogue, like, I really like this album. I really liked it when it came out, and I was really chuffed that it sounded different but enough like Korn. I almost felt that it sounded more authentic to Korn than the album previously, because I thought at least this is them back to going fucking we're Korn, we'll do what the fuck we want.
I think it's just bringing back their stages of the new metal era.
It just felt like them going, oh fuck it, let's just do what we want again. Like, let's not listen to record execs and this and that. Let's just fucking make an album that
and the
we
fact that
want
they
to
got
make.
so many sort of dubstep artists involved in this. I think the only thing is I would say is it is very scatty all over the place. But when Skrillex gets his hands on doing this, being Sonny Moore from First to Last, and having an understanding of metal, I think he's taken it and gone, no. You guys do what you do best. And then I'll just add it on top.
I think you can definitely hear that. I mean, if you look at the list of producers on this, you've got Jonathan Davis, Skrillex, Noisia, Excision, Downlink, 12 Planet, Flinch, Feed Me, Kill the Noise, Dat Sync, Jim Monty. Like, all of those people have been involved. When this album really takes off and you go, that sounds really good. That's a really good mesh of Korn and this, dubstep stuff, is when Skrillex and Jonathan Davis take the helm. Because, like you said, I think Skrillex has just got he's got a much better feel for what metal is and should be and can be than the other dubstep producers that were just there probably going, well, this will be fucking interesting, this will be cool. He's definitely got a better ear for it. You can tell that. Things like Narcissistic Cannibal. It's still a tune. It's still great.
I mean, I listened back to this yesterday and today, and still gone, why would I stop listening to this?
Yeah, it is. I haven't listened to it in ages and ages and ages, to the point where I took it off my Spotify list and stuff. But it's back on there now.
Same.
And there are some absolute tunes on it. Get Up.
Get Up.
Absolute.
Get the fuck up, get up.
It's... I even like stuff like Chaos Lives in It, Kill Mercy Within. There is more good songs on this than I originally thought. When you first think of it,
I think I was the same with that. I think when I first listened to it, you had your set 2 or 3 songs, which you go, absolute bangers, and then you just put everything else to the side. But going back and listening to it in its entirety, you go, actually, it really complements everything.
And do you know what? This is quite an interesting sort of point in Korn's career, I think, because when you listen to Korn before and Korn after this, I genuinely think this weirdly is when Korn got heavier again.
To a degree, I can see where you're coming from.
His vocals get heavier after this. He Jonathan sounds more aggro and more aggressive
I think
after this album than he did for 3 or 4 albums leading up to it.
Yeah, I think when you look at it in the sense that this is their 10th album.
Yeah.
Maybe he lost it on the way. You know, when you get to say your 5th album, you start losing the way a little bit.
Yeah.
And for this to then just possibly say spark a new love to music again.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know that the album before the Korn 3 was, which is probably one we should talk about at some point because it's an interesting one. I know they worked with Ross Robinson again on that because they wanted somebody to really make Jonathan uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And he did that in spades. He made him way too uncomfortable, I think, to the point where you get to that point where you're a rock star, you've fucking told the world things are more comfortable, you don't have to think about all the shit stuff that's happened in your life quite so much because you've got other stuff. And then Ross took him back, all the way back to these horribly dark days. And you can hear that on the album. He sounds a bit busted and a bit broken.
Yeah. And that's what it needs. It needs you to feel in the album.
Yeah, and that's what Ross Robinson does. He breaks people down to build them back up. And show their bare bones, I suppose, on record. Maybe this was Jonathan going, fucking hell, I just need to cleanse the palate, I need to have fun, I just need to love playing music again.
Yeah.
And then since then he's able to balance those things.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to like Love and Meth on the Paradigm Shift and the stuff that they went on to do, there's much more upbeat bounciness, like you'd expect from Korn, but there's also much more of that
darker element,
and the darker themes come back in and stuff. And I think maybe this was the palate cleanser that Jonathan needed.
And that's it. I think it was just more the fact of putting fun back into music for him.
Yeah.
And big time. I mean, off the back of this album, Revolver named this album as their album of the year.
Did they?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
In their 100th issue.
Holy shitballs.
And also, off the back of this, Korn were inducted into the Kerrang! Hall of Fame.
Were they?
Yeah.
That's quite cool. I mean, fair play, they should, because for a band on their 10th album... name me a band on their 10th album that are pushing boundary or pushed boundaries like Korn did on theirs. Because I don't think there is one.
Not when you're taking in something new.
No.
Unless you're Bullet for My Valentine, you're doing contemporary.
Oh, Jesus wept. Let me forget that album, please. For fuck's sake.
Oh, man. But, no, I mean, this album had such... critically, all over the place in the sense of scores. One source called Artist Direct gave it 5 stars. But then you go to somewhere like No Ripcord, 1 out of 10.
Oh dear. I was just having a little look actually at the stats and stuff. This got to the number 1 spot on the US dance and electronic albums of the Billboard. Yeah. Which is quite interesting that a band like Korn that are so entrenched in metal. Like, I mean, they created a subgenre. Like for them to, well, you could argue that it's maybe Sepultura, but they started a revolution in metal the way that Nirvana started a revolution in rock.
Well, this is it. I mean, when you look at the new metal,
Yeah, and for them to be a number 1 dance act is fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
But very cool. Like, it is cool that a band like Korn can span those genres.
Well, exactly, and show you diversity.
The only band... the only band I can really compare this to is The Prodigy, because it's probably the only the only album I can think of that
pushes both sort of electronical.
Pushes both
metal.
the metal or the rock side and the electronic side.
I think the only other band that are trying to do that at the moment is, like I talked about earlier, Crossfaith.
Yeah, I just don't think they've got the chops.
No, I don't think they're as full as what these are.
No, I mean, I think the next... I suppose the legacy of this band is kind of... There's a bit of the synth wave thing that's coming in now with the likes of Carpenter Brute and Ghost and people like that.
Perturbator as well.
Yeah. You might not have... Without this album, you might not have those bands.
And I don't think you
those
would.
acts pushing those boundaries in the same way, because... I just think it's amazing that 10th album in,
and to have the components and go
kicked another door open.
Well, this is it.
They kicked another door open and went, do you know what? This is what you think metal is. This is what you think dance music is. Fuck it, boff.
Yeah.
Let's boot the doors off of it. And to be kind of the forefront, like the tip of the spear again.
Yeah.
On their 10th album is fucking bonkers. And credit to Korn, because they've not slowed down since. They've got better as a live act, like, which is bonkers to say.
Yeah.
And they're probably as big now as they ever have been.
Oh, big time.
So, fucking fair play.
Fair play to them.
I do love Korn.
I do. Love them. That's why I'm wearing the t-shirt today. Right, anyway, we'll leave it there. And that's another episode done.
Indeed.
Again, follow us on Facebook, Twitter. We're on Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah. It's all basically, if
just
you
everywhere.
look on the socials for
Razor Metal Reviews,
Razor
Cast, either one.
Yeah,
you'll find us.
You'll find us. We'll find you.
And we'll leave it there. Later's all.
Cheery bye.